going to walk you through Zing's row-level security feature, including table lookups. This is a really powerful way to ask one question and save it for everybody in your organization to see results that are personalized to them based on their user attributes. It's also a powerful way to ensure that people only see the data that they're supposed to within your organization. Let's look at how it works. I'm going to open up Zing and log in. I already have an account, so I'm going to sign in. Great. I'm at the Zing console, and I'm going to add, in this case, just a Google Sheet. Row-level security, though, works for Google Sheets, MySQL, Postgres, Google BigQuery, Snowflake, Starburst, Presto, Redshift, Databricks, ClickHouse, and Microsoft SQL Server within Zing. And just to show you a little bit about the sample data set we're looking at, we have deals, let's say a dollar value here, when those deals were closed, the office location that each person was part of, and the email address of each person who was closing that deal. We also, importantly, have this other tab within our Google Sheet. In a database, this would be another table, which would contain lookup information. In this case, the thing I'm going to look up based on is an email, and the thing that I want to look up is office location. Now, I could have arbitrarily many attributes that I want to look up. For instance, I could have office state, I could have job title, I could have other things that I want to be able to look up based on someone's email address, and I would simply add those as headers in my lookup table. Great. So I'm going to go connect my Google Sheet by hitting setup here, and I'm going to specify that I want a live connection. The reason this is useful is it means that anytime data is updated on my underlying sheet, I can have Zing notify me with real-time push notifications, and it will automatically be pulling from the latest version of all the data that is in my sheet instead of like an export or a previous version of that. So I'm going to turn live connection on. I'm going to add it to my main organization, and I'm going to authenticate in using my Google account. If I wanted, I could also use a public URL, but in this case, I don't want to expose this data publicly, so I'm just going to authenticate in using my Google account. I selected the spreadsheet that I wanted to connect to, which was this sales example, and I see the tables, or in this case, the individual tabs within the spreadsheet. So I have transactions and lookups, and I want both of those to be included. Now I've connected this data source, and I'm going to do one more thing, which is turn on row-level security. So I'm going to go to this data source I just set up, and I'm going to tap on settings. From there, I see data source settings, and row-level security is an option. If I want to learn more about row-level security, I can see the documentation at docs.getzingdata.com, which shows me how I can specifically reference any of these fields in my lookup table. In this case, I'm interested in office location and email. So what we'll do here is turn on row-level security. We tell Zing what lookup table we're going to use to read user attributes from, and then we specify what that email field is that we're going to use as kind of the primary lookup key from which we're going to go look at the other attributes about a user and be able to match on that and use that in queries. So we've turned on row-level security, we've specified which table we're going to use for lookups and the field that we're going to use to base lookups off of, and then we hit save. Great. Now we're going to go to the Zing app and start querying this. I'm going to go over to sources, and we had just added this data source sales example here. And first off, I'm going to query transactions. And I'll just show you if I say I want the sum of deal size by email. Here I haven't used anything that's row level aware yet. So this is just going to show me the total number of deals for each salesperson based on their email address. Fine. Now though, I want to specify this So it's specific to each user based on their logged in credentials. So I'm going to add a filter for email and say when a condition is met. And I'm going to say when email is equal to this special field that I'm going to substitute in. If I look at the row level security docs, what I see is that there's this way to reference a user's email. So it's curly braces and then zing.user.email. This is the same way I would reference any of the other lookup fields based on a user's attributes. So now when I put in zing.user.email, this is going to give me the sum of deals for each user, but in this case I've added this special filter which says it's only going to show the values for the logged in user, which means instead of showing me the sum of deals for all of my colleagues, it's only going to show them for me. So I hit run and I see these are just the deals specific to me as a logged in user. So I'm going to save this and say deals closed, personalized. Great. Now I'm going to do one other thing, which is use the other user attributes to do something more interesting. In this case, I'm going to say, well, I want to look at all the transactions that have happened in my office. So I'm going to say when a condition is met for office location, and I'll include a group by just so we can kind of see what's happening here. And now what I'm going to substitute in is not a user's email, but that other field that we had, which was office underscore location, and ended in 2 curly braces, which tells Zing it's going to substitute that value in. So now I'm going to see the sales not just for me, right, which we can go here and see was $58,200, but it's actually going to give me the sales for me in San Francisco, but also for my colleague Mary in San Francisco. So I hit run question, and I see now the sales for me and my colleague in San Francisco. If I wanted to group those, I would just remove this group by for email, and I'll see the sales for the whole San Francisco office. Great. And what I could do is maybe save this as sales for my office location. And this means that my colleague in Boston, when they're logged into Zing, is going to see the set of sales relevant for the office that they're in. Great. So now I'm going to go create a dashboard that shows deals closed that I'm responsible for and total sales for my office location. So I'll call it my sales dashboard. And I can see that I've closed, in this case, $58,200 of deals, and my office during that same time period has closed a total of $238,200 of deals. And so all of this is personalized now to me, and if I have this dashboard and share it with any of my other colleagues, which I could do just by tapping this share icon and giving view access to my colleagues, what they will see is not the same thing I'll see. They'll see it personalized to them. If you have any questions or want to get started with this, you can do it at zingdata.com, or you can look at our documentation on row level security at docs.getzingdata.com that walk you through step by step how to set up row level security, how to ask questions where row level security is enforced, and how to even use row level security within custom SQL.